Welcome, soft tappers! Today we're talking about
color correction!
So why do we need to do color correction? What is it? How is it done?
Color correction is something that needs to be done when a color fades to an unwanted tone.
Which it sometimes can.
It does happen, okay? It does happen. Over a couple of years, usually you might see a color come back a little bit too warm or a little bit too cool.
That's normal. Occasionally you'll also see some very off colors just from unknown sources. And some of those might be purple, blue, red, even green or gray. Sometimes you never know what might walk in your door. But the most common colors that you'll probably see are red, gray, blue, and purple.
Mostly red and blue though. So when we want to correct a red brow, what we like to do is we like to use the opposite tone, or actually that's what you need to do, because to balance that red, you're going to need the opposite or complementary color on the color wheel. So when you look at the color wheel, that's going to be green. So that green color, when you blend it with the red, you should get a nice neutral brown tone.
This applies the same way if you're working with makeup. If you have a red spot that you need corrected, you usually put a little bit of green on there first before applying your foundation.
Or in like a photo filter as well. If you have a picture of yourself and it's a little bit too red, you can apply a filter that is a little bit more green, and it should at least cut the red more on yourself. For permanent makeup, we have specialty colors that we like to use to correct lots of different tones. For any red tone, we like to use our limeade color.
Limeade, it does kind of look like a lime green color. It's sort of a light kind of baby
lime green. Does scare people sometimes.
But this green color goes away within one pass.
Yeah.
You work and then you do one pass, wipe it, it's going to look like a beautiful latte color.
Which, who doesn't love latte color, okay?
I love lattes.
The best color. So it's a nice frothy latte.
Once you've gotten to this point, you can put a new color on those neutralized eyebrows of your choice, any color. I like to use a cool color because if I've seen that they've gone kind of warm before, it's best to further cool it off.
They might have a tendency for warmth, so cool color would be a good way to go after that.
A lot of technicians call this pulling warm. So if they pull warm, you can correct with limeade, use a cool color. And if you really want to, you can add a drop of Cool It, which is a green modifier color. And that will definitely cut the red. You won't see it come back.
Just a drop. A little tiny bit. So another really common color that we see that we have to correct over time is blue, or like a blue, gray, sometimes like a denim jean color.
To do that, you go on your color wheel again, and you find the complementary color of blue, which is orange.
Orange! So those two together again, you blend them, you get brown. Easy enough. So our orange color is called orangeade, and we use that a lot on any kind of, even a dark blue gray, you can use it because it will also lighten it. And you should get to a more of that latte colored place again. But because blue is a bit of a stronger color than the red tone, you may need to do more than one application or session with your corrective color to really neutralize it.
It depends on how dark that blue is. If it's a light blue, sometimes you can just do the same thing that you do with the limeade, just do a quick pass with orangeade, and then use a warm color on top because you want to warm up that client. Go over it with something like caramel or Bordeaux, and you shouldn't see that blue come back. Purple. How do you correct purple?
Purple is one that we don't see as much, but it definitely does happen. And again, to our color wheel, from purple we can see that the opposite or complementary color is yellow. So our yellow tone is called lemonade, and we use that a lot on purple tones to lighten them and also neutralize that purple down to a nice brown color.
Lemonade can also be used for any multicolored brows. If you have a client that comes in that has a nice like rainbow of old permanent makeup, then use lemonade on the whole thing to correct it. Unless there are pieces sticking out that are like red or blue, then you can
It's a good place to start
separate.
though, for sure. Sometimes you don't know what to do. That's a good place to start on those multicolored brows.
The lemonade can also be used to lighten up any color. So if you like the look of a color but it's just a little bit too dark, then you can add a drop of lemonade.
In addition to our correction aids, the lime, lemon, and orangeade, we do like to use some other colors to correct unwanted tones. One of which that we use a lot of is the salmon, which is kind of a light pinky orange color that we use for scar camouflage, but we've found that it's really good for correcting dark spots in the brows and the lips as well.
If you have any eyebrow color that's too dark, say that somebody comes in and it's just like, whoa, that's way too dark, you can go over the whole thing with salmon. It will lighten the color by 3 shades.
Yeah, super powerful color. So we like using that one a lot. And we mentioned earlier the Cool It. That one is a great modifier color if you need to boost your limeade. Maybe you're dealing with like a darker red tone and the limeade's just not cutting it. You can add a drop or 2 drops even of the Cool It into the limeade.
Yeah, or if you have like a very persistent red that you keep seeing, then add some Cool It, it won't come back. Speaking of color coming back and the actual debate on corrective,
it's a great
color.
debate, okay? People talk about correcting eyebrows, or I guess anything, but mostly eyebrows they talk about, and corrections are considered a band-aid. We hear that word a lot.
Well,
it's a band-aid.
Yeah, but the truth is, though, is that all permanent makeup color fades, regardless of whether it's desirable or undesirable.
Yes, definitely.
So are you going to let your client walk around with purple eyebrows for like 2 years? No. You're probably going to want to correct it with some lemonade, make them feel good, let them have a nice summer, and then when they come back, if you need to, you can correct it again, or you can touch it up with that chosen color of your choice.
Yeah, still have them come back after 2 years. It's really not that big of a deal. It doesn't need to be a whole process like what removal is. Removal is typically a very long process, and you don't necessarily always have to put your client through that. Sometimes maybe removing a few spots here or there. We totally understand that there are times when removal is necessary. There are definitely times when it's necessary.
I want to say, like, the best thing that you can do for your client is to choose a solution that's appropriate for them. So if it's not feasible for them to come back 3 or 4 times for you to remove something all the way to your desired point before correcting it, then maybe just color correct it and give them that density of color that they want. You have to choose something that's going to work according to what your client wants you to do.
And we have had corrections time and time again that work very, very well. We've neutralized lots of unwanted tones and had very happy clients coming back to us for their every 2 or even 3 year touch-ups, and they're still perfectly happy. So it can be done, and you can do it too. So it's not as big of a deal as maybe it seems.
And something else, let me tell you, it's not just like, oh, I've fixed it, that's the end, you know. There's clients that you come back and they see you for 10 or 20 years. That's a very unique thing about permanent makeup. But if you're correcting color and you do a good job, then you're not going to see these old funny colors come back. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So if you trust in your process, you're going to do a great job. You're going to have very happy clients.
If you're really unsure, but you kind of want to dip your toe into the world of corrections, but you're like, what if I pick the wrong color? We do have a really nice...
And let us know what you'd like to see. Make sure you post a comment below, or hey, if you don't agree with the corrective theory that we're talking about, let us know. We'll talk about it. It's all good, okay? Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy tapping!